Alright everybody, hello and welcome. As always, I'm Sean. This is In The Mixer, episode 107 of our Isle of Man series. Happy Tuesday, wherever in the world you're watching from. Before we get stuck into the episode, all this week we are supporting the Campaign Against Living Miserably. This wonderful shirt was designed by Jim G. FM. His link is in the description below, as well as direct links to Calm themselves for all their fantastic strategies in terms of supporting mental health and just generally not living miserably, being the happiest person that you can be. If you or someone you know is struggling in the world as it currently stands, go and check out those links down below. They will help a tremendous amount. And they do some fantastic work. They deserve your support. Now, as far as the FC Isle of Man is concerned, we are well and truly into our first season in the Premier Division. Our goal for the year is to try and stay in the division. Keep that in mind as we go through some of our results here. So as you guys can see, just above my head, just there, we're currently in 11th spot. We have snuck just beyond Leeds. Of course, we finished the last episode having played Norwich and Huddersfield. Didn't get the results that we wanted, but thankfully we have had two fantastic performances since then. A 1-0 victory against West Brom in a very tight contest. They had quite a few different opportunities to win the game. Lucas Fessler getting a wonderful goal in the 9th minute, and we managed to kind of like just defend really well in the second half to keep them at bay. And then a different game by all stretches. Everton are a very good side. I think they were 8th when we played them. And if we look at the stats, like we created a whole bunch, we had a good amount of chances, no clear-cut chances, which is a weird one, and a lot of possession as well. So I think we were very, very comfortable in this game throughout the course of it. They didn't have a tremendous amount to talk about, but it was very late. Tyrone Taylor, 82nd minute, finally getting the go-ahead goal for us after peppering their goal throughout. And just like that, back-to-back wins puts us in a really good position. Today we're going to play Aston Villa, who are in 15th spot. Another winnable game, I think, even though it is away at Villa Park. And then we've also got an away fixture at the Emirates Stadium against Arsenal. Now, we did beat Arsenal in the FA Cup, so I'm sure they're going to have a bit of a chip on their shoulder on it. We still haven't, I think, in the last 2 seasons in the game, in any of our recorded episodes, gotten back-to-back wins in a recorded episode. If it could happen today, that would be awesome, but we're not going to get ahead of ourselves too much. As far as the squad's concerned, we've had a couple of injuries, a couple of international call-ups, which we did talk about yesterday. They have made things difficult, but we are starting to get back into a settled lineup, a good rhythm, and a consistent lineup playing each week. As far as the rest of the competition goes, because I haven't really spoken about it at any point, Man United up on top, 6 points clear at the top of the table, expected to win their second divisional title in a row. Chelsea, Man City, Newcastle, interestingly, up in 4th. Brighton are flying, they're up in 6th. Everton still in 7th, Bournemouth are up in the top half, Arsenal and Tottenham are the closest sides to us at the moment, but they are 7 points ahead of us, so I think 11th spot is kind of like the ceiling for the rest of the teams in the division. We'll see how it plays out in the remaining 12 games of the season, but I'm just relatively happy to not be any of these teams here in the relegation spots. That's what we're trying to avoid. And if we do get points this episode, it's going to put us a little bit closer to that mythical 40-point mark that should keep us in the division, though I think this season, with the way that like West Ham, Leicester, Wolves, Southampton and West Brom are playing, it's probably going to be a little bit less that you actually need to stay in the division this season. We are currently 16 points clear of the relegation places. I'm hopeful that that will continue in this episode. So this is the lineup that we're going with. Kubis in goal, Escobar and Grasinger as the central defensive partnership, as they were last season in their successful championship season. Sigurdsson's got a knock. He's out for, I think, another 10 days or so. So we might see him this episode, we might not. Anonye will play at left back, our January signing. Ben Schott finally gets fit again and he comes in at right back. This is his first game back. We may have to sub him off at some point. Escobar has been filling in at right back for the last couple of games and doing an admirable job. We're playing the Wolf at the moment. We seem to have been doing a little bit better with him anchoring midfield, so we're going to give him the time. Torp's development isn't going to be too staggered by dropping him to the bench for a couple of games in this busy stretch. Barbosa, of course, plays alongside him as the Messiah. Maguire will play at the 10, Londono on the left wing, Fessler on the right, and Alton Miranda, our leading scorer for the season, leading the line up top. He does have quite a bit of interest as well from around the world. Proper wonder kid, he's just turned 20. It'll be interesting to see what sort of bids we get during the off-season for him. Looking at Aston Villa, they're playing a flat 4-4-2. They've got a very interesting lineup here with Anthony McDonald, now 30 years of age, starts at Hearts. In the database, he looks very decent. Right-wing player who's been at West Ham the last few years and joining Aston Villa for this season. Over on the left, they've got Yaya and Pai, a 30-year-old Belgian who starts at Anderlecht, I think, at the start of this database. I'm guessing just by the face pack. He might even be at Sampdoria, but he looks to be a relatively solid left-wing option. They're playing a little bit deeper than I think he'd be comfortable with. Hopefully that can kind of make them a little bit disjointed, but he's the captain as well. And then they've also got Lazaro up top, who is a wonderful player. If you're starting your own save at either a smaller European nation or a lower level Premier League side, try and bring him in as quickly as you can. He will be at Flamengo, I think that is. And at 16-17, he's already a very good player, and he develops into one of the better strikers in the world if you give him game time consistently over that period. Assertively, we're just going to tell our team we're underdogs, no pressure. We have noticed, or I have noticed, that I think a lot of teams, because of our reputation, are still rotating quite a bit against us. So it'll be interesting to see how our lineup goes. Is that Matt Ryan in the Aston Villa goal? Have I missed that entirely? Fessler's won the ball back here in a good position as we come forward, and he gets a strike away. Ryan does very, very well to keep that in. Is that Matt Ryan? It's not. It's Mark Ryan. They tricked me there for a split second. I thought it was the Australian goalkeeper. But I'm guessing he'd be about 40 now in terms of the game universe. Aguirre here with the corner. It's pinballing around, and Altamirand's poked it home for his 13th of the season. The goals have dried up a little bit for Altamiranda in the new year, but he was away with the under-23 Argentine Olympic team for quite a while in their qualification campaign. But hopefully that gets the ball rolling for him, and he can start smashing goals in the second half of the season to keep us in the division and to keep us up towards the top half of the table. Throw in wide right. McDonald plays it to Lazaro. Back to McDonald again. Just stand him up, boys. Don't do anything silly. Now Svensson, keeping it on this right-hand side. McDonald goes past the challenger Wolf and hangs it back stick, and Pye just clips the crossbar, the upright, as it heads out for that corner. A little bit of a warning shot there from Aston Villa. Throw in here now on the left-hand side. Finds Apostol. Skips past one challenge. Gets into the box. Wide right area. Thankfully, didn't have much of an angle to work with, and Kubis is equal to it. Thrown on the left now. Anonye finds Escobar. Londono. Anonye, we're making it very tight on ourselves back here. Thankfully, we've gotten it back to Kubis, who should have worked it out to the right-hand side. Instead, he goes back into that danger area and that congestion. Anonye, now Escobar. Back to Kubis. Work it to the right now, please. Grassinger, work it to the right now, please. He does now. Okay, we've got a 2v1 on the right if we move this quick enough. Goes forward to Fessler, who cuts inside one challenge. Squares ball to Aguirre. Back to Fessler again, and he gets the strike away. It's a wonderful finish from Lucas Fessler. Does very, very well. Lovely timed run. The straight pass from Aguirre finds the diagonal run of Fessler, and I think it's on his favoured left foot. You can see there, that little cutback is where he takes the fullback out of it entirely, drags the central defender, plays in Aguirre, who gives him the reverse pass, and that left peg smashes that one right into the top corner for the 2-goal advantage. And he's been in and out of the side, Fessler, but he's been pretty good over the last 10 games or so. Might be finally finding his feet, the German right winger, or left-footed right winger, inside forward, whatever we want to call him. I think I'm playing him as an inverted winger. Barbosa's won the ball back in a great area and skips past one challenge here. Can he find the finish? It's not a bad effort. He went for placement instead of power, just wide of that far post. Deep free kick here for Aston Villa. The line was very high. If they'd have gone quickly into the corner, which they do now, Lazaro would have been there. And Pye pinballs around a couple of times. Now Jove out to Felau. I'm not sure how I'd pronounce that. Joe, great name. Back to Ryan, now Healy, all the first names combining. And Pye, who's been busy out of the air a couple of times here in the second half. In injury time for the first half. Felau, now Jove. Escobar with the header away, now the Wolf goes long. Joe heads it back in. Decent little passage of play here from Aston Villa, keeping the pressure on and working it side to side. McDonald down on the right, finds Lazaro, gets the strike away, and he's beaten Kubis at near post. It's only his first goal of the season and his first ever goal for Aston Villa. I wonder if they just picked him up in January and that's why he hasn't played all that much. Good ball out there from Joe. Just hooks that one out to McDonald, who does very well. Puts it in a good area, and we should be tighter to him. And to be fair, Kubis has been excellent. I'm never going to criticise Kubis, but he maybe should have had his angles a little bit better. A near post finish from that distance isn't great. Assertively, we're just going to say we've got to guard against complacency now. Don't think the job's done. If this turns into a 2-2 draw, I'll be very upset. Wide free kick, Svensson to take. First highlight of the second half here, and the header from Apostol just beyond the far post for Aston Villa. So they're still putting some pressure on. We're through an hour now. Let's have a look at these average ratings. Grassinger hasn't played that well. Maybe Taylor comes back in and he'll see out the game with Escobar at the back there. Ben Shop hasn't played tremendously well, but I think I want the fullbacks to try and see the game out as things currently stand. Maybe Londono. Maybe we go for a little bit of pace on that left wing with Jimmy Winter stepping off the bench. Let's assertively go, I have faith in you, get out there, and let's also use our get creative shout with about 30 minutes remaining. If we get a third goal here, I think we're fine, but they've got a wide free kick again. Svensson back post, and Healy's headed it back across goal, and it's gone to 2-2. I think we have to do something about our set piece scenarios from this wide area. That's a couple of games we've had this season where just the pressure and the highlights that we've seen from these sort of wide area free kicks has been very difficult to deal with. But we've got all our men back. I wonder if it's just the individual roles we need to have a look at. Ball here for Aston Villa. Healy, the goal scorer, goes forward to Redmond. Looks to cut inside. Puig sends Lazaro goal side on the wide right area, and a great recovery and challenge from Tyrone Taylor before Anonye just hooks it clear. All right, let's look at that last sub. What have we got up our sleeve? Maybe bring on Torp in midfield for the Wolf. Maybe bring on Petkovic instead for Aguirre. Aguirre hasn't played badly. Barbosa hasn't played badly either. Yeah, let's put Aguirre back into midfield for Barbosa, and let's bring on Petkovic at the 10 and see if we can't bring that one back across. And let's also use our demand more shout. Deep free kick from Aguirre. Finds Festa back post. It's clipped everything. I think it hit the crossbar and the upright before they hook it away. So a good response. We've seen a little bit of a change since the subs come through. Aguirre, deep ball in across. Healy with the header away. And that one's out for a throw-in. Kind of a waste of a corner. We've used our demand more shout as well here in the last 10 minutes. We need to try and find a winner though. All right, we're into additional time. 5 minutes to be added on. I've used our get creative shout. Is there any late drama here in this one? We're through the 5 minutes and the referee's calls full time. A 2-2 draw is very disappointing after being 2-0 up. 16 shots, 6 on target, 50% of the ball for Aston Villa. 19 shots, 8 on target, and 50% of the ball for Isle of Man. Everybody thought we'd get beaten. Let's just try and keep morale up. I'm not going to complain too much about it, but that was the game this episode where we really needed to get 3 points because Arsenal away is a much trickier fixture. You can see here, honours even at Villa Park. Lazaro gets the Man of the Match award. His first goal for Villa, contributing quite a bit to that. I'm thinking before the game against Villa, we might drop Aguirre. You look at Aguirre's last 5, 6.86 is the average rating. You look at Petkovic's last 5, and keep in mind, some of these are in cup competitions where we've rotated. He is a little bit further ahead, so we might just make that one rotation. It's tough given that Aguirre's got a 7.13 average rating for the season, which is very, very good, and I think he's our leading assist maker for the season as well. Quite a few players actually from the last 5 have dropped off a little bit, 6.8, 6.9s. Really, we need them around 7s. But I think that's the best we can do for the time being. We might try and get Sean Dixon on the bench as well, just because we know Ben Shop isn't 100% fit yet, and Rosero isn't quite there yet either, but we might work him on there. So we've got both wings covered from a bench perspective. Will Sigurdsson be back? No, he's out from between 4 days and 2 weeks. I don't think we'll risk him for the Arsenal game, but magic of editing, we'll jump forward and look at the 2 lineups for that one now. Alright, so a little bit different a screen than we usually would come back to. I haven't quite gone into the lineup, so I'll run you through that in a second. But what I want to do is tweak our set piece routines, because effectively, I think when we went to certain defaults of these, they had like the striker back here and like the central midfielder staying forward, and the midfielders in the wall instead of the wingers, and a whole bunch of different stuff that wasn't necessarily in line with what we were going to do. So mainly I've just focused on our defending ones. I'm not too worried about the attacking ones for the moment, but just making sure that we have our left and right structures defensively sorted for all of the free kick types, because I think now that we're playing at a Premier Division level and their set piece delivery is so good, like if you look at this one, indirect and deep, we really just need our striker forward and everyone else can get back behind the ball. But this wide one is where they hurt us the most. So we'll get the 2 wingers in the wall, we'll leave the striker forward and everybody else getting back. Zonally where we can for the back 4, 2 central midfielders can get back, and the attacking central midfielder can hopefully play at the edge of the area to close down the ball if it gets headed back out. That's the idea in my head. We'll see if that makes it any better. And for direct ones, everyone's in the wall. The back line just does man marking. That's all we really want. Striker can stay forward. That's absolutely fine. We will save all of these routines. As I do, I save them all as groups. So we'll go free kick collection for this one. And hopefully that will help us get over those small issues we've seen in terms of pressure from set piece scenarios. Watch now as we concede 4 different goals from set pieces and corners. Looking at the lineup, we're going to leave that Petkovic change in. Barbosa did pick up a knock though throughout the course of the week. So I'm curious as to whether we should drop him out. He's due to go back to full training tomorrow. We might risk him, but if he doesn't play particularly well, we've got Aguirre on the bench that we can bring on. Sean Dixon back as well from injury. He's only able to get through 45 minutes. He will jump on the bench as cover for Ben Shop, who is struggling a little bit since his return from injury as well. Otherwise though, same lineup that we spoke about. Sigurdsson's still a couple of weeks away. Taylor will rest. Senna will fill out the squad. Looking at Arsenal's lineup, it's a lot different to what you'd usually expect. They do have over on the left wing Curtis Jones from Liverpool. He spent most of the career in this game universe at Liverpool. He joined Arsenal in 2029 for £32.5 million in that January transfer window. And he's been there for a couple of seasons now. I don't think he usually starts. I think they are rotating a little bit for this one. Martinez, their captain at the back here, 24-year-old Colombian defender, looks fairly solid, nothing super spectacular, but you can see here his mental attributes are very, very impressive. Anticipation, bravery, decision-making, and positioning, all 18, and physically very, very good as well. Quinn, their leading assist creator for the season, French attacking midfielder, only 21 years of age. Already elite despite his young age. 17 passing and technique. Mental attributes, a bit whatever. Physically, though, very good. 18 acceleration, 17 pace, agility, and balance. He will be one that we have to keep an eye on. Leading the line up top, they have Nahul Rubido, who's the player that tore us apart last time we played them in the league. 19 dribbling, jumps out at you immediately. 19 balance, 18 acceleration, 17 agility, jumping reach, pace, 16 stamina. He is an absolute beast. Came through at Rosario Central, was at Atalanta, and then Nice before Arsenal picked him up a few years ago. Still only 21, but a very, very good player. They are playing a much stronger lineup than perhaps I was thinking they were when I initially saw Jones in there. Assertively, we're going to say nobody expects us to get a result, so just go out there and play like it doesn't matter. We did beat them 1-0 in the FA Cup, but they did put us under a tremendous amount of pressure. Oh, this kit clashes are a little bit tricky. Not really. It's our away kit. Londono squares it to Pekovic, who will win nearly repaid our giving him a start with an excellent goal. Wonderful save there from the Arsenal keeper. Forces it out for the corner. Ball in. Finds Barbosa at the top of the box. Back to the Wolf, who continues in the starting lineup. And the highlight thankfully comes to an end. But first highlight we've seen goes our way, which is always a good sign. Throw in, left-hand side. Ponce sends it into the corner for Arquin to chase. Lovely touch, takes him around the defender. Anonye with a good header away. Jones with the strike, cuts in on his favoured right foot, but thankfully just over the crossbar. Early doors, we've got 3 yellow cards already. Barbosa, Fessler and Londono all picking up cautions in the first half. Corner here, Londono to take. So wraps his foot around it. It's pinballing around at the back there. The referee, a couple of players have run off there into the nothingness for no reason. We've been given a penalty. Miranda's about 50-50 from pens. We don't have a great penalty taker in the squad. And Marcelo Jose has saved and then pushed it out for the corner. So we might need to focus on that during the off-season, finding someone who can take these penalties for us. Londono with the ball in. It's headed away. Barbosa could put it back in. Skips past one challenge, plays it back to Greisinger, and the highlight comes to an end. Highlight here on the left for Arsenal. Miranda, good pressing. We've won it back in midfield. Back to Greisinger now. Now Benchop. Into Barbosa. Now the Wolf. Back to Barbosa again. Now out left to Londono. What can we work here in the 2v1 on the left-hand side? We go back inside to the Wolf, who finds Anonye on the reverse pass. Crossing isn't great, but Anonye does recover. Now Londono from the byline squares it up towards Miranda. Petkovic is in there as well. It's pinballing around everywhere before Arsenal eventually get it away. Let's use our demand more shout here. Quinn, wide free kick, and Arsenal have scored. Rene Larac, I think it is, gets the final touch on it. We'll check it out here in 3 dimensions. We just set up these set piece routines, so what has happened with this one? Good ball in, and then backstick runner, McRae's wide open, and Larac just gets the little touch on it in front of the defensive line. So maybe we need to get some extra bodies at back post if that's going to be where they deliver each time. Quinn with the corner. Kubis does very well to come out and claim. Have we got a reset here? If we go left, we've probably got players on. Instead, we've gone very short. Barbosa now to the Wolf, played out left. Franz Wolf always looking to the left. Finds Londono now. Now Petkovic. Back to the Wolf. Recycles possession very well. Now plays it to Escobar. Miranda's header away. Finds Londono. Gets to the byline. Looks back, stick towards Fessler, who's got header back across the goal just over the crossbar. So at least we have responded to the goal at the other end. Wide free kick. Quinn, backstick runner. Escobar with a good header away that time. Now Jones. It's back to McRae. Back to Jones. And they've found the finish. We're 2-0 down now against Arsenal. McRae had the initial strike. It was closed down well by a defensive line, but the rebound fell to Jones, who took the touch and absolutely rifled that one home. Quinn off no steps from that free kick. You can see here Jones initially cuts it back to McRae, gets the strike away. It's closed down well by Escobar, but falls to Jones, who gets it under and then just rifles one into the top right-hand corner. We do have an immediate highlight here. Greisinger to Petkovic. If we can pull one back before half-time, that might make our second half task a little bit easier. All the way back to Kubis. Now Escobar, who can turn on the ball. Now Anonye, who's got a bit of time in front of him if he moves it quickly. Instead, he goes back to Escobar, who goes to play a ball forward and just basically gives possession back to Arsenal. Subasic comes forward in midfield. It's a long run, but he's not getting behind anyone. Ponce sends Jones into the corner. Stand him up, boys. Cut back to Ponce. Square ball to Arkin, and we're 3-0 down inside the first half. We haven't played that badly. It's just like, sometimes I feel like once that penalty didn't go in, the game just decides, well, if you can't score your penalty, you're going to concede 3. And it's good overlapping football. This overlapping run from Ponce is quite good. Ball back into Arkin, and his header well and truly beyond the keeper. Disappointing one there. All right, dressing room aggressively. That was absolutely terrible. Your performance has been extremely poor. We have had a couple of absolute pastings so far this season from our Chelsea and Man City. We might be due for another one today. Maybe we drop back to positive, just see how that goes, playing a little bit more of a shorter passing style in the second half. I mean, we're 3-0 down. We don't really have anything to lose. And look at these match ratings. They are absolutely smashing it at the moment. Their keeper is the highest average rated player with that penalty save probably going a long way towards that. Flick on header here. Kubis comes out and claims well. Can we get a long ball forward? If we look out to the left, Londono's got miles of space and we've looked towards him now. It's very good vision from Kubis. Londono looks to cut inside. Now Barbosa over to Fessler. Gets back on his left foot. The Wolf now can send it out right for Ben Shop to chase into the corner. What can the fullback do from here? Finds Fessler, square ball to Barbosa, now Petkovic, back to Barbosa again, but it's gotten away by the Arsenal defence. So we've seen another highlight here. What's happened here? Oh, we've got a free kick, Petkovic to take on his favoured left foot. Good effort, wonderful strike, 4th goal of the season for Goran Petkovic on his not starting debut, but like a rare starting opportunity for him. And we'll check it out in 3 dimensions. It's a wonderful set piece. Wraps his foot around it, top right corner. There's no way in the world any keeper is getting to that. Give him a head start and a step ladder, and he's still going to struggle to pick that one out. Throwing now, left-hand side. Benonye finds the Wolf. Quinn's won the ball back from him. We're 2v2 at the back here. Someone's got to go to the ball. We're rotating way too much. Thankfully, Quinn went the strike from distance, and Kubis equal to it. Rubidoux. Greisinger wins the ball back. I thought for a second there that was maybe going to be a yellow card highlight. Jones skips past a couple of challenges and tries to wrap his foot around it. We're through 65 minutes. Let's look at these yellow cards. I think that's what's going to drive it for us. Greisinger's picked one up, so we're going to bring on Torp at central defence. It's not his favoured position, but we need to just be conscious of these yellows. Londono's got one and Fessler's got one. Maybe we'll go Rosero for Fessler and hope that Londono can just keep his shit together for the rest of this 25-minute period. Let's go get creative as well with 25 minutes remaining. Highlight here for Arsenal. Quinn puts it back post and Kubis does very well, comes out and claims. Is that the end of the highlight here? Are we going to see some more? It continues. Kubis has gone long towards Altamiranda, but no one challenges Lito, who gets a free header. Possession back for Arsenal. Quinn sends it left corner for Jones, who's been very busy in this one. Good close down there. Rosero does well to keep possession as well. Back to Torp. Long ball forward was to no one in particular. We're just giving possession away at the moment in key moments. Jones gets goal side and Kubis comes out, makes himself big and puts it out for the corner. Resulting corner to be taken now. A get creative shout has gone through. Quinn's going to take it back post. It's headed away. Subasic get the strike in and thankfully Wolf with a good block. Throwing right hand side. Ben Shop finds Petkovic. Back to Ben Shop again. Aguirre. If we pull something back, or just as I say that, we give away possession. Escobar. All the way back to Kubis. Open up for him, boys. Now Torp. Into Petkovic. Ball out wide right. It's headed away by Ponce. Now McRae into Quinn, who's been very busy second half here. Rubido's gotten goal side, and Kubis again, an excellent save denying the Argentine forward. Corner to be taken by Quinn, wraps his foot around it. Escobar with a good header away. Comes back out to Subasic, and it closed down again by Londono, but out for only the throw-in. Okay, we've gotten an injury again, and of course, because we did all 3 of our subs, we of course get an injury. So we're going to finish the game with 10 men. There's not really a whole lot we can do other than use maybe our demand more shout here, just to try and give everyone some focus through to half time, or full time, I should say. Quinn, ball back. McRae, flick on header from McRae just over the crossbar. And Arsenal have been good. You got to give them credit. They created a tremendous amount of chances in the first half here. Maybe when we beat them in the FA Cup, we were playing like a rotated side. Torps with a terrible clearance there. Thankfully, it's closed down well by the rest of the side. Larac now to Ponce. We're at 6s and 7s here. We need to get back goal side. Jadson. They're committing so many men forward. Wagner, Antonio. And thankfully his strike. He beat one man and then just put it past the far post. 4 minutes to be added on here. Hopefully we can just see this out without conceding further. There was a little passage there in the second half. I thought we might get a second goal here and make this very interesting. But in the end, 28 shots, 13 on target, and 39% possession for Arsenal. 3-1 victors on the day. We had 11 shots, 6 on target, and 61% of the ball. Calmly, I'm far from pleased with what I just saw from this team. I know that's probably a bit harsh given who Arsenal are and who we are, but it's the manner of the performance, and I hate having episodes where we don't pick up any points. So we're down into 12th spot. Leeds go back ahead of us into 11th. We've played 28 games, 8 wins, 10 draws, and 10 defeats. That's the second game in a row we've had a draw and a defeat. Or second episode in a row we've had a draw and a defeat. I can only seemingly win when nobody's watching. Rosero's got a pulled calf muscle. He'll be out for about 3 weeks. And the Carabao Cup is finished with Bournemouth winning that one. Mason Greenwood, the leading scorer with 7 goals. Right, looking forward, the games are coming thick and fast as we head into the last 10 games of the Premier Division season. That's absolutely crazy. I think we'll play the game against Leeds off screen in 11th. That's a huge one for considering that battle for like 11th spot. Then we'll play Bournemouth in the FA Cup off screen because the FA Cup really isn't important to me at all this season. I just want to stay in the division. And then we're going to play Brighton, who are in 5th at home, and Liverpool at Anfield in 4th. 2 wonderful games, 2 TV fixtures as well. That extra revenue will be great for us. And it kind of sets us up to do Leicester, Newcastle, and Chelsea and Wolves to finish off the season and hopefully stay in the division. We are still 15 points clear of West Ham in 18th spot, so I don't think relegation's going to come, but we can't commit to that too early. We have to make sure that we get our good results, and we still haven't quite hit that 40-point mark, which is the measure of success in a season. As always, guys, thank you for watching. I do appreciate the continued support on the channel. This week, especially, go and check out Jim G's content, this wonderful design that he's done. Go and check out the Calm Zone for all the fantastic work that they do also. But more than anything, thank you for watching. That's the part I appreciate the most. I've been Sean, and I'll see you all again in the mixer.